This video gets straight to the point. Shotguns are versatile tools for sport, hunting, and home defense. But not every model deserves your trust. Some designs turn out to be liabilities: fragile receivers, temperamental gas systems, poor ergonomics, and parts that vanish from the market. Today, we list the 10 worst shotguns to avoid, explain why each failed in the field, highlight common warning signs, and show how to choose a reliable firearm you can depend on when it matters most. Our criteria are simple: real-world reliability, safety of design, material quality, and availability of replacement parts. A cheap shotgun that functions reliably is better than an attractive model that breaks. Watch on for the recurring failure modes we'll cover: feeding and ejection faults, rapid wear and balance problems, and a short buying checklist to help you avoid costly mistakes and pitfalls. Number 10. The Remington 887 was marketed as modern. A polymer exterior, armor lock, corrosion-resistant coating, and a promise of low maintenance. On paper, it looked like an upgrade for buyers wanting a durable pump shotgun. In practice, though, the Nitro Mag exposed several problems. Users report a rough, gritty action and a stiff trigger that slow down follow-up shots. The armor lock finish, meant to resist scratches and rust, can flake off after light use, revealing bare metal and leaving a cheap-looking surface. Feeding and ejection issues are commonly reported, often stemming from tight tolerances combined with the coating and occasional magazine tube misalignment. Ergonomics aren't the culprit. The real issue is reliability in everyday use. For anyone who needs a dependable workhorse or bedside defense gun, the 887 is more likely to cause headaches than confidence. If you're tempted by a cheap used example, factor in probable repairs and weaker resale value. Number 9. Famous in movies and video games, the SPAS-12 turned heads with its folding stock and hybrid pump/semi-auto design. That cinematic appeal masks real problems. Its dual-mode mechanism is mechanically complex, and complexity undermines reliability in close-quarters tools. Owners report heavy weight, awkward balance, and frequent jams when switching modes, quite serious liabilities when predictability matters. Maintenance is demanding. The SPAS needs regular cleaning and parts that are increasingly scarce, raising service costs. The safety placement and mode selector controls are also criticized as non-intuitive and cumbersome, which can slow reactions under stress. As a result, the SPAS-12 is more of a collector's novelty than a practical workhorse. While it looks dramatic on screen or a shelf, for real defensive use, its weight, complexity, and unreliable dual-mode system make it a poor recommendation. Number 8. Browning's BPS series has long enjoyed a solid reputation, but the early Stalker versions designed for left-handed shooters revealed flaws in their bottom-eject design. While the idea was innovative for ambidextrous use, execution in some early runs proved unreliable, leading to frequent cycling problems that turned simple reloads into jams. Users also noted gritty action, a heavy trigger pull that reduced accuracy, and occasional cracking of synthetic stocks under stress. Although Browning corrected most of these shortcomings in later models, early Stalker owners often faced inconsistent performance compared to the stronger reputation of newer BPS shotguns. The key lesson is clear. Even respected brands can stumble when adding novel features. Anyone considering an early Stalker should confirm production details and test cycling thoroughly. or choose an updated model. Number 7. Benelli earned its reputation with rugged semi-autos, but early Nova tactical runs showed even established makers can err. Its one-piece polymer receiver and stock created a tough, inexpensive package, but limited customization and left many shooters dissatisfied with balance and handling. Worse, some early examples suffered feed faults, shells dropping from the magazine tube instead of chambering cleanly, which is unacceptable in a shotgun pitched for defense or law enforcement. The heavy, clumsy feel made rapid, precise handling harder than it should be. Benelli later revised the Nova line and fixed many issues, yet tactical variants remain a cautionary footnote, a promising concept undone by execution choices that harmed ergonomics and feeding reliability. Buyers should verify production dates and feedback before trusting a Nova tactical for duty. Number 6. At first glance, the Stevens 94 looks perfect for beginners and budget shoppers. A simple single shot, easy to operate, and inexpensive. But the savings show in weak materials and thin metalwork. Owners report the action loosens after moderate use. A few boxes of shells can shift the receiver and stock out of alignment, causing misfires and erratic patterns. The light receiver and low-grade wood make the gun prone to cracking and structural failure with heavier loads, and recoil is harsh because the frame absorbs little energy. For occasional backyard plinking or basic training, it's tolerable. For serious hunting or defense, its fragility and short lifespan make it a poor pick. If reliability and long-term safety matter, spend a bit more for stronger construction today. Number 5. Hybrid tactical hunting. Variants promise versatility. Carry one gun for both turkey hunting and home defense. In practice, hybrids compromise balance, sighting, and ergonomics. The Stoeger P3000 Tactical, used as an example, illustrates the trap. Factory sights and cheek weld rarely suit both roles. Owners report weak collapsible stocks undermine stability when optics or lights are mounted, and sights poorly aligned for target acquisition. Balance problems make the gun sluggish to shoulder and aim, while some batches show action roughness or ejection quirks with certain loads. The bottom line, a single model trying to serve two missions risks doing neither well. Buyers who want a true defensive tool should choose purpose-built tactical models. Hunters should favor ergonomics for swing and patterning. Hybrids trade capability for convenience. Number 4. Savage introduced the 755A as a semi-auto alternative to pumps, but its gas system proved troublesome. The complex mechanism produced frequent cycling failures and demanded constant cleaning, exactly the opposite of what many shotgun owners expect from a low-maintenance firearm. Small, fragile components wore quickly, and replacement parts are now scarce, leaving many examples impossible to restore to reliable service. The 755A also struggled with lighter loads, as its gas settings favored heavy rounds, making consistent cycling across ammunition types unreliable. Instead of simplifying use, it complicated everyday shooting. The lesson for buyers is clear. Favor robust, well-supported gas systems over designs that add complexity without real benefits. The 755 OI stands as a reminder that promising concepts can collapse under practical demands. Number 3. Winchester's reputation suggests reliability, but the 1200 Defender let many owners down. Proving heritage alone isn't enough. This Defender variant displayed weak action bars, loose tolerances, and an overall impression some called a budgeted knockoff of older, sturdier Winchesters. In real-world use, shooters reported frequent jams and a sloppy action that eroded confidence in high-stress moments. Trigger group and safety parts also showed accelerated wear, and those failures, combined with fitment issues, undermine the shotgun's essential purpose: predictable function under pressure. Against the classic Model 12, the 1200 felt like a downgrade in build quality. For defensive roles where dependability is mandatory, the 1200 Defender's structural shortcomings make it a risky pick. If you find one, test it or choose a platform with proven robustness. Number 2, budget import semi-autos can be tempting on price, but Norinco-style models often hide costly trade-offs. Inconsistent quality control shows up as rough machining, poorly tuned gas systems, and tolerance issues that lead to frequent failures to feed or cycle. Misaligned internals accelerate wear and create unpredictable behavior under recoil, so one buyer's reliable example can be another buyer's constant headache. Aftermarket and spare parts support is typically weak. When imports stop or political factors intervene, sourcing replacements becomes nearly impossible. Many owners also report harsher recoil due to poor weight distribution or weak recoil mitigation, making these guns unpleasant or even unsafe with heavier loads. Bottom line, a low sticker price isn't worth it if quality and parts support are unreliable. Number 1. The Ithaca Mag 10 Roadblocker tops the list not because it was cheaply built, but because it turned a bold idea into an impractical burden. Built as a 10-gauge semi-auto for breaching and heavy-duty use, it proved brutally unwieldy in the field. At nearly 11 pounds unloaded, it's tiring to carry and awkward to handle. Its size and length make quick target transitions slow and clumsy. Despite its mass, recoil remained severe for many shooters, and the complex gas system demanded meticulous upkeep while still fouling under real-world conditions. Spare parts and service knowledge are now hard to find, pushing the Mag-10 toward collector status rather than operational use. In short, raw power and novelty didn't overcome poor ergonomics, maintenance headaches, and unreliable practicality. 3 failure patterns stand out: cutting corners on materials or quality control, overcomplicating mechanisms, dual-mode actions or temperamental gas systems, and building hybrid guns that try to do everything but excel at nothing. These choices cause feeding ejection failures, rapid wear of critical parts, poor balance and ergonomics that harm accuracy, and scarce spare parts that turn small repairs into long, costly headaches. The rule is simple: prioritize proven designs, reputable manufacturers, and reliable parts support. A cheap gun that runs dependably is worth far more than a flashy model that fails when it matters. When evaluating any shotgun, new or used, check service history, common failure modes, and spare parts availability. Don't let price be your only guide. Quick checklist: verify maker reputation and parts network. Cycle the action. Inspect for roughness, cracks, or loose furniture. Choose platforms with a track record for your intended use. Ensure local gunsmiths can source parts and service the model. Pattern and test the gun with the loads you plan to shoot. These steps won't guarantee perfection, but they reduce the risk of owning an unreliable firearm. If this guide helped, support Firepower by liking, subscribing, and sharing.